So this is kind of funny because I just came out here today with the intention of making a video about how fat biking is such a good winter sport. I guess this is a perfect day for it and also kind of a bad day for it. We've just had zero snow. But yeah, the main point of this video that I wanted to make today was why fat biking is such a robust winter sport, which I guess these conditions kind of prove my first point. The first real reason, they're bikes, and who doesn't love bikes? I love bikes, you probably love bikes, most people love bikes, so it's just a good excuse for another bike. But this one can go places that other ones can't. So my first point with all this is you don't need a bunch of snow, this is kind of the perfect scenario for it. It's a sad scenario. You really just need a trail, and that's exactly what we have here today. And what would typically be stopping skis is still enabling me to go out and ride. I mean, just look at this stuff. Just a little bit of grass and some really gross sandy like snow. Not much to float on. I mean, you've got snow over there kind of, but again, it's really bad. So Jaron, you ask, it's great for bad snow days, bad snow years where you can't ski, you can still ride. What else are fat bikes good for? And I'll tell you. One of the best things about these bikes is that they are not just winter machines. These tires, you can switch out in the summer if you just want a year-round bike. So studs in the winter, regular knobbies in the summer, and you've got a pretty sweet little cruiser. But I need suspension on my bike, Jaron. Me too. That's why these tires are so great. You can air them down super low, so they just absorb around roots, rocks, snow, you name it, give you plenty of traction, and become their own form of suspension. That's not to say that you shouldn't be using your legs as your first form of suspension. Does anyone else have a trail system that they almost always reliably get a little bit lost on, or is that just me? Because it's a little bit sketchy back here for me sometimes. And I don't know about you, but whenever I'm on a fat bike, I just get more exploratory. Like I feel like there's more trail options. I can just kind of, you know, Mars rover over with these big old wheels. We're just crunching through the snow and ice. It's amazing. And I do really feel like, you know, once you kind of change your mind into like the Mars rover effect with the fat bike, getting there is really kind of the biggest goal. You know, the fact that you can go out on these trails that are subpar conditions. Of course, this one is perfectly fine on a skinny tire bike now that I'm out here talking about it. The trails have dried up entirely, but I think you get my idea. You enter in this like state of mind where it really is the journey and the exploration, and speed doesn't really live in, at least not in my head. There are people that rally these things. You can go very fast on them, but it's the fact that you can get outside on them that I think is the appeal. If you already ride bikes, obviously this will translate perfectly, but I think you'll really like the fact that you need to focus on like body awareness and like bike control with these things, because there is no suspension, really big tires that have a lot of forgiveness, but it's a completely different riding experience, which is just so much fun. And you really don't need to dress very differently from when you're riding a mountain bike. You just need to layer up a little bit more. Like, it's a little bit warmer right now because it's like 35 degrees here right now, which is not typical for February, but I just have like a wool base layer, windbreaker, and like a little vest underneath this, and then just like riding pants and some nice, you know, warm boots, which is cool, but always a helmet, obviously. So a critical piece of riding kit when you're just winter riding, but specifically fat biking, are pogies, and let me show you them. So these are my pogies by Dogwood Designs here in Alaska. It's got nice reflective tape, but they just snatch on the bars with this little tie here, and there's one on the inside that goes around the bar. but it just creates this really perfect microclimate for your hands so they don't get cold. So all I have to do is wear these even down to, you know, right above 0. So remember how I said that I am semi-prone to getting lost out on this trail system? My spidey senses are telling me that I'm like on the edge of getting lost, so I'm gonna turn around. Well, if you're still here and watching, thank you very much for listening to me ramble on about fat biking, one of my favorite things to do in the winter. Looks like we might be switching to gravel for the time being because everything's cleared up. There's no snow, bike paths are clear out here, so I think I'll probably switch gears on that here soon. But anyway, thank you so much for watching. See you in the next one.